We need each other. That's why I feel when it's no. Each other. If you my daddy, big one, bantu kabita, kunya kwe kirumba, bibilumba
You are tuned in, tapped in, and tapped into Christian Nation FM radio station 106.5 FM, broadcasting to the greater city of Lusaka in the radius of 150 kilometers to a population of 3 million, of whom 1 million are members of the 1 million family friends ministries. You are tuned in, tapped in, and tapped into Christian Nation FM radio station 106.5 FM, broadcasting to the greater city of Lusaka in the radius of 150 kilometers to a population of 3 million, of whom 1 million are members of the 1 million family friends ministries. That is why you have to be very, very good to one another. There is a law called the law of oneness. This law, if you understood it, you would be very, very careful in life, because there is only one of us. Not only that humans are one, but the whole entire creation operates as a unit. Life is supporting itself. So the negative that you do to another is coming back. You are actually hurting yourself. So let us continue to be that nation that understands Christianity, that understands the law of oneness, the law of togetherness. I'm live this time on YouTube. You can go to Laston Lupupa and you will find me. Search for YouTube, Laston Lupupa, Conversations with Father Lupupa. We are here to love and to help each other and to grow as a community of believers. And what I bring you right now is to connect you again, once again, to that spirit of oneness. This radio station has been formulated as a way of bringing Christians into one register. When Christians are in a register, then they begin to support each other. Tulefwaya okubonsya okwikatana pakutiila kutufunye mu bukyushi. We are here to use our togetherness, our numbers, to outnumber the negative energy, the negative forces, the negative powers of darkness. The enemy knows that together we become very strong. The enemy understands perfectly that if John chapter 17 verse 21 comes to pass, he is done, he will be done. So he ensures that we are as divided as possible. The 1 million family friends is here to bring us together so that we become a family. We become family, we become friends. A family of friends, family friends. And we are not just seated there and waiting for the sunset. No, we are doing something to be there for each other, to support life. And so we are weaponizing unity. We are weaponizing our coming together in the power of numbers, and then making those small little contributions as mustard seed contributions, and then the outcome of our mustard seed contributions is the savings, and out of those savings life will be supported and we are going to be different. So nifuna kuti kumene mulili uko, let us make that exercise. It is an exercise. Let us call it a spiritual exercise of sowing the mustard seed. Sow that mustard seed into this 1 million family friends account so that we can continue to build the application and continue to manage the ministry because of your contributions, to support the ones that are busy moving up and down, putting up the logistics and the electronics of this 1 million family friends as a ministry. So the number you are using is 0979 59 50 25. 0979 59 50 25. This is the mustard seed contribution. It could be very small. It could be whatever you can afford. Are you a member of the 1 million family friends? In practice, we are already there. We're supposed to be living. And so I want to thank God that already more than 6,000 people have registered as members of the 1 million family friends. We have already gathered as members of the 1 million family friends. 6,300 people are already registered. Our target is 1 million. When we have registered 1 million members, then when we'll be asking you for only 1 kwacha, we'll be raising 1 million kwacha. We want to partner with the government of the day as far as the PPP is concerned. The government has brought up a brilliant idea of allowing the citizens, the institutions to participate in the building of the economy, economic projects such as roads. You offer to say, I'm going to build this road using my own money, and then you recover it through the toll gates. And so we have seen the PPP project of Ndola Lusaka Dual Carriageway. Instead of borrowing money, the NAPSA has invested in that, and it is going to recover that money. So imagine the 1 million family friends. If we're 1 million and we ask our members, can you raise 1,000 kwacha each? Can you sell something to come up with 1,000 kwacha? And if 1 million people would put 1,000 kwacha together, would raise 1 billion. 1 billion. So if we can raise 1 billion, what investment can we make out of that? Now, this is the vision. We have come a long way, especially as a church. We have come very, very far. If the church, imagine, now me, I'm always imagining that if all the churches were to put together their monies and open a Christian National Commercial Bank, Christian Nation Commercial Bank, and then all the tithes, instead of putting them into pockets, they would bring all the tithes and all the Sunday collections of a particular Sunday, and we put them together. Do you know how much that could be? And then invest it. You see, what we have missed in this life, especially as the body of Christ, is investment, generally speaking. And then we have missed coming together economically. People have been making attempts to come together to discuss the day of prayer, to pray together. Okay, and His Excellency, the former Republican president, came up with this idea, and constitutionally it was formulated that out of the 365 days in a year, would have one day, a national day of prayer and fasting and reconciliation. Now, Christians coming together to pray. But now let us come together and have a national account for all Christians to deposit the money. Supposing in a year we dedicated this national day of Christian deposit. Let us call it Christianity Development Fund. Christianity Development Fund. So this is a CDF. It's not Constituency Development Fund, but a Christianity Development Fund, where perhaps once in a year, or once in a month, or once in a week, or even every day could be one kwacha. But I'm thinking of a dedicated Sunday where all the Christians deposited their tithes, their Sunday collections into one account. And then investments are made from those monies so that we build Christendom, a Christianity collection. It could be shared into our Christian universities, mission church universities. I'm thinking about secondary schools. I'm thinking about sponsoring our students who are supposed to, especially if we are preparing political leaders in the near future. We want to sponsor students who are studying political science so that we have informed political leaders. This is one of the lacunas in the way the world does politics, because politics is the only profession where the non-professionals can come in and be admitted and begin to thrive, where people do not present papers but are voted in. Whether they know what they want to do or not, people are just voted. You don't campaign to become a surgeon. You don't campaign to become a lawyer. You go to school. So we need to make politics a profession, so that, and beyond even a profession, also a vocation. In the past, priesthood, being a pastor, was not a profession, was just a calling whereby somebody just fuse that they can minister, they can share the word of God, they can pray for people, and then they are ordained. They had problems. They discovered no, people needed knowledge. They needed to go to a Bible school. They needed to study. In the Roman Catholic Church, you spent not less than 7 years. For us Jesuits, it's even 12 years minimum for you to be ordained a priest. Knowledge is power. They know how. So now, politicians, we need to raise the standards of politics. If we are going to have non-professional politicians, problems will continue because people will think that power comes using force, violence. Okay? Power means influence through mobilizing the young people. If you understand what power is, like Zesco, power is generated, and the generation of power, whether it is the solar tapped from the clouds, it's science, and that takes time, and that takes investment. So we need to invest in politics by training the future politics. If our politicians do not go to school, they are Form 3s, they are Grade 12s. As for now, the minimum qualification for one to become an MP is grade 12 certificate. And not only grade 12 certificate for an MP, but for a minister. Now, you are going to become a minister of agriculture, you're going to become a minister of health, but with a grade 12 certificate, and you have no qualification whatsoever. So, problems is, if you notice there's so many accidents on the road, sometimes rats begin to think all the drivers are sleepy, or perhaps they are sleepy. No, check how are they obtaining the driving licenses. Are they really licensed because they passed, they are qualified, they understand the highway code? Do they read the signage, the signs on the road? Do they understand that you cannot drink and drive at the same time? So if rats are conducted, that serious investigation, then we'll have fewer and fewer accidents because people know that you cannot overtake. That 60 kilometers per hour in this stretch is scientific. It is not that they want to delay you. 80 kilometers per hour in this stretch is because the way the road is does not allow you to go 100 kilometers. It could be bumpy. It could be because there are animals crossing. It could be that the human beings, this is a stretch where, you're approaching a small little station or a village or whatever. So you have to slow down. Now, when people like the pilots go to school for a year, I don't know whether it's years or months, just to study the whole entire machine, you don't mess up. You don't begin to doze and begin to drink. As a pilot, you are there in the air and you have to be 100% alert and you have to follow everything that you learned. How much more a pilot of a nation? How much more must he be qualified? Must she be qualified to fly the nation to our destiny? Do we know where we are going as a nation? Do we know where we are coming from? And have we entrusted ourselves to a qualified pilot? What studies do we have? You see, sometimes you listen to our brother politicians make statements that can put the country on fire. Like the one that I heard, this politician just said, now Kadarism has come back. A statement from a politician. Does he know the consequences of such a statement? from a leader. So now, if you understand political science, you know how this thing holds together. If your truck driver does not understand the machine which he's driving, that there are cameras inside, he would never do foolish things in the cabin there, because he knows that the master has got has put cameras wherever and is being monitored. Did you know that even these phones that we are using, they are very advanced algorithms that are picking your habits, and if you're on TikTok, you suddenly discover that you cannot put down your phone. Why? Because what begins to come on your scrolling is exactly what you are enjoying. Why? Because the phone learns your habit, the artificial intelligence, so it begins to collect exactly what you want. I have been listening to the recordings of about Machiavelli, this dark psychology. And from nowhere, I just see that is what my TikTok is flooded with. How did they know? Because I spent 1 hour, 30 minutes perhaps, listening to one of them. So they know, the algorithm knows that if you can spend 30 minutes listening to this, then this is your interest. And from nowhere, you don't open, and if you even make a subscription, you subscribe. That means every time they make a, a recording, if there is any streaming, then it has to come to you. It has to pop up. So that is how we need to invest in a profession. So the church perhaps has done that. But we have not done it collectively, because as the body of Christ, we have not come to this conviction that we are supposed to be the ones to be in charge of our own affairs, that no one becomes like, for us Jesuits. You cannot allow a non-Jesuit to come and govern you. The Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, of which I am a member, can never allow a Franciscan to become Father General. No, you can't. You cannot allow, even in the army, a non-qualified army person to become a topmost, to issue commands which he does not understand. So now in politics, this is what happens. A non-qualified, somebody who has no clue what politics is all about, becomes a minister, becomes a member of parliament. So what do you expect from a mouth of somebody who does not understand the values of unity, the values of peace? Because politics is about bringing us together. Politics is about being a father. And when you are a father, you have not given birth to perfect children. Some are obedient, some are disobedient. Look at the story of the prodigal son. He had two sons. One of the sons comes and says, I want to enjoy myself. Give me my share. I don't have to wait until you die. And the father gives him his share. And the brother does not. The elder brother does not. Now, in that story, what does it mean to be a father? The story is about the father's heart. It's now we, the Christians, focus on the son, the prodigal son. He went and repented and he came back now. Jesus wanted to teach them how good God is. Because the son is not a model. The son is not an example of what it is to be a son. He didn't repent. He came because he was hungry. He came back because where he had gone, there was no more food. So he would have gone forever and forever. But we are being taught by Jesus. And this is what it is to study theology and to go to a school that can analyze these things. So the heart of God, God is always forgiving. A politician, a father of the nation, is supposed to have that heart. Now, when you do political science, you're supposed to understand how it holds together. If you're a driver, a truck driver, and then you see there are two batteries, I say, but this thing, how come it has got two batteries? Can't it run with only one? And then you begin to organize to sell one. And truly, when you remove one, you disconnect one, you find that actually it can start with one battery, not knowing that the mechanism, that it needs 48, is it 44 voltage because of other functions. Now you have sold one. Or you have even sold the spare wheel to say, but how come it has got so many wheels? Now, everything is very important. So a father of the nation understands that every member of the nation is cardinal, is important. The disobedient ones and the disobedient ones. The ones that you found in your biological, not biological, your legitimate wife, and those that were born outside, they are all your children. A father of the nation has got two types of sons. The ones that he gave birth through their political party, and the other ones that are children from another mother, who is those that didn't vote for you. They are also your children. And these children have to be groomed. And this is the role of a parent, that they are all sons and daughters. If the father does not do that and allows the mothers to separate them, then we have begun an eternal war. And that is what Abraham failed to do when he allowed Sarai to separate Ishmael from Isaac. Abraham should have refused to send Hagar away. Besides Hagar, the servant lady, the servant girl, got pregnant from the ideas of Sarai, the wife. No, perhaps I'll never give you a baby. So what do you do, Abraham? I'm moving out of the bedroom, and she's moving in so that she can give you a son. Look, your God promised you children. And he never understood biology. And so Abraham, what did he do? He had good time with Hagar, and Hagar became pregnant and bore him Ishmael. So the firstborn was not Isaac, but the promise was through the couple. So now the worst part is that separation, that wound, that blood which was sent away. Up to today, the Palestinians, the Arabs, and the Israelites, they have got that hatred that you don't understand. They are taught to hate the Palestinians. Iran says Israel should never appear on the map. On October 7th, they went and slaughtered Israelites. And look at how Israel, the IDF, responded by pulling down the whole entire Gaza Strip. Now, these are the same people. This is Ishmael and Isaac. So in Zambia, we have similar situations. There are those that come from, now to be blunt, there is the chosen one, the elected one, or whom I can call Abraham, the God has called him, and then he has got the firstborn son. And then there are the one that comes, which is Israel, which is Isaac. Who is Ishmael? Ishmael is like the opposition. You gave birth to him and you were once upon a time. Now, you cannot separate. You cannot do what Abraham did. That curse has continued up to today. The only man that you should have refused to separate the two was the father. He should have refused to say, now look, you told me to sleep with her. Now I have a son and you want to kick her out of this place? No ways. She's staying here. I'm going to build her some quarters somewhere. Ishmael should have grown in the presence of the father. Now this boy grew away from the father. He grew with bitterness. He could have died in the deserted place. And the woman carried the baby with the hatred of the man. I didn't initiate this. I didn't commit adultery. I didn't fornicate. I was asked. And who was I? It was the setup in those days, a man could be given a woman and the prostitution and so forth. She had no right, perhaps. And now she's wandering in a deserted place and she's somewhere just to die. Let this boy die. And God comes to her help. You are the father. You are the father of your biological, meaning you are the father of those that brought you into power through their votes. You are the father also of the one that came seemingly by mistake. They are both your children. The separation of these two children is catastrophic for the nation. The Hutus and the Tutsis are one. And if there is any presidency in Rwanda, it's the reconciliation. It's not the prosecution and the persecution of the mistake. You don't correct through prosecution. You don't correct through persecution. You don't even correct through incarceration and imprisonment. Punishment is a wrong way of correction. A person who is already disconnected cannot be corrected by being disconnected from reality. The story of the prodigal son is an example of how to correct by celebrating the one that is saying sorry. We have to bring to book those ones that have made mistakes so that whether genuinely or ungenuinely, they come back and make a confession. In the Roman Catholic Church, we have a confessional. It is one of the so-called sacraments. People should say sorry. And the priest is meant to sit in a confession every day. Every day the priest should have called the parishioners to have an opportunity to say sorry to God. It is part of the life of the Catholic Church. They saw it necessary. You cannot go for a month without going for confession. You have to go to a priest and say, I am sorry to God. The priest is Otus Christus. It's another Christ. He's seated there in the name of God. Just like we can go for prayers to a pastor to pray for you, and a prophet can see what is happening in your life because of the anointing that has been placed upon him. So a priest sits there to hear confessions. If there is anything that humbled me was to sit in a confessional and hear the confessions of small people, little, the stellars and the eldest were actual. In humility, this is the most humiliating exercise, but it is the most effective way to heal the commitments. That is why it never bothered me. I never found it difficult to say sorry when in 2021 I made a statement and my provincial said, so what do you do, Lupopa? So what do you think you should have said? I'm going to say sorry. I'm going to ask for forgiveness. I didn't say I'm going to apologize. No, no, no. I said I'm going to ask for forgiveness because the statement that I made some sections of the people very, very angry, upset with me. And I went to the social media and asked for forgiveness. No apology, but ask. Apology is intellect. It is in the mind. It is admission of guilt and so forth. No, no, not even guilt, but mistake. You are not in that realm of making a correction by saying something else, but you are going directly to the heart. People, when they are hurt, they will hate. And that is why we are familiar with hate speech, but we're not familiar with hurt speech. Hurt, H-U-R-T. If you're hurt and you don't correct the hurting, then you will begin to hate. Some hate speech do not even result in hurt. The Bembas and the Easterners, the Chimbuyas, they can hurt each other, but they will never hate. They can say things and then iwe niwe jiji niwe chisiru chifukwa ni mbuya wanga. A father of the nation is a father of two types of children. The ones that you bore from your woman, the legitimate one, and the other one from the side chick, from the slave girl. And you are in charge to bring this to. The woman, your biological mother, will never have good feelings about that one. So the UPND government might never be good to the non-UPND, the ones that did not vote for HH. But it is up to the father who is legitimate to bring these two children to say they too are my sons and my daughters. That is leadership. That is leadership. To acknowledge and to send this message that you are all my children. I'm going to sit you here. There was one of my friends, she was telling me, the late mother, how she used to solve impasses. If you call the mother and then you began to talk about your sister, the mother would say, whoa, just a minute. Hold on. And then she'll cut that call. And then she will call you back and make a conference call with your other, the one that you were talking about. And now, can you say what you were telling me? Because she's listening. And then you were just smearing lies. Perhaps it could be true, but the way you put it, you wanted your mother to have negative feelings over your sister. And that is how that family never talked about the other. Kumbari, Takwari, John Sefi. So, my sisters, my brothers, I have talked about two things here. And if you are following me, you are sending your mustard seed contribution to 0979 59 50 25. 0979 59 50 25. It is your mustard seed contribution to Christian Nation FM radio station and to buy bundles for Studio 2. Because Studio 2, some of you don't understand Studio 2. Studio 2, that is where I'm operating from. If there are no contributions, there is no internet. If there is no internet, then there is no operations. We want to improve Studio 3. Dr. Apostle Kobe Moyo on Glovo, when he comes on air, he uses Facebook to upload, to stream live on our radio station, and sometimes it goes off and on. So we want to connect him to technology. So send your contribution to 0979 59 50 25. Never get tired of love. Your contribution is a sign of love. You don't get tired of love. sunga kabla kuti awe ninakonda manje nisinza kondanso. You can't get tired of giving. If you have the capacity, just give and give and give. Right away, I'm giving. I have dedicated my life to giving. So I'm talking about how we, the Christians, can effect change effectively by investing in education. The education that the Christians have been investing in is not changing the world. It's not a transformative type of education. When we run universities and secondary schools where children come out with flying colors, but very down emotionally, intellectually with the IQs, they are the best. And this is the shocking experience that, the intellectuals, they can go to the roads and throw stones at innocent passers-by. And sometimes we associate intelligence with emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity not to get angry. A leader, a father, a mother is never supposed to get angry, never get flared up. You can get angry, but don't express your anger. Don't make any decision based on your anger. That is leadership. A leader should never get angry. And if you get angry, don't open your mouth. Keep quiet. Don't go before the cameras and the microphone and say something. Right away, things are happening. We have heard that Honorable Given Luvinda was abducted and lynched, whatever, beaten, and is on oxygen in Cabo General Hospital. That is what I got when I was checking through the social media. People may want to react by getting angry. No. Don't get angry. Be calm. Take a deep breath. And don't open your mouth if you're going to say negativity. The people that did that and what you're going to say, you may just be the same. So hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Take a deep breath. You see, all things work for good to them that love God. On Good Friday, why we call it Good Friday? There's going to be a Black Friday very soon. Why we call it Good Friday? It's because the outcome of that evil, evil killing of the Son of God, flogged. The enemy of life thought, I have dealt with this son, but not knowing that it was through death that he was going to eliminate himself. Judas thought this was the best thing that to do. But God used the blood of Jesus to bring about the salvation of humanity. Was there not any other way, God, that you could have used? Why didn't Jesus just die a natural death, and then after the death of Jesus, then the Pentecost would have come? Or Jesus shouldn't have even have come. We could have just moved directly to Pentecost. Why did suffering be used? Death, flogging, blood. So salvation, if you're looking for salvation, if you're looking for something good, there is no other formula other than what will be happening. Be ready. Be ready. If you're looking for something good, if you're looking for gold, be ready to die in the tunnels. You're looking for a good house, be ready to suffer the consequences of hard work. You want flying colors, you're a student, be ready to have sleepless nights studying. That is life. You want a very happy marriage, you have to work. You have to take your wife out. You have to say good things. You have to say, I forgive you. You have to sacrifice time. You have to sacrifice the best friends. Why? Because she's suspicious of them and you have to let go. You have to sacrifice time so that you can be with your family. I know one pastor who has sacrificed friendships so that he can find time to be with the family. Dr. Apostle Kobe Moyo. Do you know his formula? He says, I will preach. I will allow God to minister to you. But from the pulpit, the phones are off. You cannot continue to talk to me and me talking to you even after I have preached. Now he has to give 100% time for his family. And he has raised up that family. You can see. And he's all over the place. He's on community, not community. He's on Zamcom, he's on Crown TV, but no one-on-one. He says, when I speak, when I come on air and I minister to the people, if God has not dealt with you as I preach from the pulpit, even if I meet you one-on-one, there is no magic. That is his belief. And why does he do so? He says, I need time out to be with my family. The Roman Catholic Church, they said, we are going to sacrifice family life so that we can be present with the people. There is no divided attention for a priest, for a man. If they are teachers, they teach, and at home they are marking books in their community. Why? Because they have given themselves 100%. And they are not passing the genes to the next generation. They are dying 100%. That is a sacrifice. That is life. So hold your breath. Be calm. The worst, perhaps, is yet to come. We have prided ourselves. Oh, we have peace, we have peace, we have peace, we have peace. None broken peace. If the father does not, he becomes like Abraham, who never sat down. The wife, the legitimate wife, the political party, the legitimate wife, is the one that voted, is the one that you have a certificate with. If he does not care for the other child who is born from the other mother, then from henceforth, we are going to have eternal problem for this nation. Eternal problem means generation after generation, they will be fighting, like Ishmael and the Jews, Ishmael and Israel, the Arabs, the Arab world, the Ishmaelites. They are very, very angry. And the Americans went and bombed Iran. They bombed all those places. They said they are preparing nuclear weapons to remove Israel from the map. You see, you cannot conquer evil with evil. You cannot violently end violence. Quote me on this one. You cannot end violence violently. In fact, you cannot even fight for freedom, because fighting itself cancels what you are going to get. Nobody has peace. Nobody obtains anything by eliminating another. You don't have it. It doesn't belong to you if it came to you violently. No, nobody gets it. Nobody uses lies to ascend to the top. If you have a non-genuine certificate and then you are at the top because you presented yourself with a false certificate, you're a medical doctor, you didn't go to school, time will catch up with you. And this is what we have seen, the students, they're not doing anything and they are consulting the AI to write for them. Now you'll be faced with a situation in the theater. You're supposed to do the surgery. The AI is just intellectual. Your hands here are needed, and you cannot be reading notes as you are operating. And all along, you've been using the AI to answer questions. Now the time has come to put into practice the answers that you've been giving. You have gotten the correct answers and you're now qualified based on the assessment by your lecturers. Once upon a time, there was this man who was sweeping in the plane, these my helicopters, and he came across the manual on how to fly the helicopter. He got excited. He said, "My goodness, I have been wishing I could fly, and my boss has gone away. I will fly it and bring it back." And so he followed page by page, he read it, and then he engaged the gears. It's so simple, and it took off. It took off and it was flying. Then now, how do I get home? The last page, unfortunately, how to land was not there. The last page was not there on how to land. He only knew how to take off. You see, life is very unfair. They have prepared us on how to go in. They have not taught us how to come out. People have prepared so much on how to win, but very few people have been taught how to lose. In judo, they invest in teaching you how to fall and how to make another fall. But you have to learn how to fall. In religious life, in priesthood, where I joined, nobody taught us how to fail, how to come out. But St. Ignatius of Loyola put it in the constitution how to let go, how to leave. I once consulted my superiors. Supposing I want to leave, what do I do? It was there in black and white. These are the steps you take if you want to leave. But we were never taught how to leave. When people get married and they want to get married, they prepare you how to go in. Traditionally, they taught you also the negative things that you might find in marriage. These are the things that you will find. How to divorce. It should be part of the lesson. How to file for divorce. The lawyers are busy and the medical doctors, they are busy learning the other side of life. But humans don't want to learn. Who taught you? Are you comfortable on how to die? How to write a will? How to write your life history? Some people say, no. I've been talking about as members of the 1 million family friends, we're supposed uh, uh, to enter into an MOU with the funeral parlors, okay, so that we when a member dies, we don't have to start making contributions. The budget is on the funeral parlor. And then people have to register that I will be making the contributions towards the life assurance, life insurance. In in insurance of the cars, we are taught the car can be stolen. You can be involved in an accident. So there is comprehensive insurance. We're going to cover that. Every day that a driver goes into the car and the passenger in front, the front seat, you are told, now you buckle. And it has become automatic to put on seat belt. What does the seat belt tell you? You may suddenly stop or hit somebody, or somebody will hit into you, and there are airbags in front of you. Be protected. They are too good. They are too good, and you don't expect negativity to happen. So prepare. Prepare to be disappointed. Prepare for somebody to dump you. Prepare for somebody to just ignore you. Prepare that somebody might not greet you. It's not being negative, no. It's preparation. It's to put that this man might one day disappoint you. You are married happily. This man may actually be dating somebody. When it happens and you thought about it in marriage encounter, that is what they go through. Imagine one day this man died and they give you 2 hours to go and go through the funeral process. That exercise is so difficult for many couples to imagine their spouse to have died. Zambians, we have taken our peace for granted. Perhaps let me prepare you. Imagine there is no peace. Imagine another Tanzania in Zambia. Imagine. Now, we have to prepare mentally for something worse, that it can happen. We are not exempted from a genocide. If it happened in Rwanda, it can happen in Zambia. Now, when you see that anything can happen, then you take precautions. If a filling station knows that they are selling inflammable liquids, so-called petrol, gas, so-called, what have you put in place in case some stupid driver begins to smoke? Sorry to use that word, but that's stupidity. Somebody begins to smoke near the filling station. We are told don't switch off the cell phone because it is emitting a very high radiation and the petrol can start. How many of us switch off the phones, including the petrol attendant? Sometimes he answers a call and is on the phone while he's putting petrol. Now, scientifically speaking, there are fire extinguishers nearby, an assembly point, because you might go and stand on top of the tank itself. They have to tell you where to stand. Zambians, don't take this peace for granted. It might be the last time that we have been a peaceful nation. It might be the last time that we have enjoyed this peace. So now, if you can imagine what can happen, then you begin to put in place the mechanisms. You begin to put in place the courage to talk to everyone. You begin to put in place the openness to talk about what happened elsewhere and how we can prevent it. You begin to learn what happened in Rwanda because it can happen in Zambia. So you begin to read where did our friends go wrong? That a tribe would rise and against another tribe and want to eradicate them. If you don't discuss these things and you don't think about them, and when they happen, you will not know how to run away. So here I am. I'm calling you forth to be open-minded. And don't trust anyone anyhow. Why? Because the human nature, the human condition is just like that. That is who we are. Jesus never trusted Judas Iscariot. Jesus told Peter, St. Peter, he was not a saint by then, you will 3 times deny me. He could see, but he could not stop it. He could not change what was coming. But he prepared him and he prepared himself that you are going to betray me. All of you are going to run away from me and I'll be alone. And only John was there. Jesus could see what was coming and he could not stop it from happening. But he was ready for it. So be ready. Be ready for what is coming. Something worse might be coming. This has been Father Laston Robert Lubupa, SJ, from Studio One. I have recorded this on YouTube. You can find this piece of information on my YouTube, Laston Lupopa, and get it. Thank you very much. Crossing over back to Studio 1. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Sometimes kila palipo wanatokana nisiopika na shingweshi. Listen, kila mtu